Hello and welcome again to the channel, and if you're new, welcome anyway. So it's so cold up in the railway room, I've decided to just stay in my workshop in the house today, and I've got a few clocks to repair before end of business today. I've got a little Elliott movement there with a platform balance and a slightly older nice what they call a ting tang. It's got two gongs, and that's soon going to be sorted out. So I've taken a bit of time off because I thought it'd be great to show you what I'm distracting myself with between clocks, and there's a gong going off there. So let's get back to this little Bobo. You can see Wrenn W2230, and I did find something quite interesting in the box and quite topical, and for me that's unusual. Just dealing with older items, I don't tend to keep up with what's new in model railways, but check this out. I was just looking through the paperwork and I came across this. So W2230 diesel electric Bobo, £12.50, January the 3rd 1978. But that's the interesting bit, isn't it? Hattons of Liverpool. And I have heard the very sad news that this large retailer is choosing to close down. Now, I've never made my own order from there, so I thought, well, I ought to for posterity. So I have logged on and ordered a couple of items. They're not actually, well, they are model railway related. They're for the workshop, so I'll share those with you when I get them. But a sad time for all their customers and workers, I'm sure. But isn't it interesting that this cropped up just at this point? And I would think the previous owner of the loco just decided to write this little note to slip in the box to remind him when he bought it or what he paid. But it is great to see, and I'm definitely going to hang on to that. So let me just shut the box. Now, if you saw the previous videos regarding this Class 20, you'll know I've had all sorts of shenanigans with the side frames. I even lost one. Well, I had a little bit of a think and I found it, and I'll tell you where I'd put it. When I was putting some traction tyres on a Hornby Dublo item the other week, I'd put the side frame in the box with the tyres, so that was a bit stupid, wasn't it? But here it is. And of course now I've got all four. I'm mending them, but that wasn't before I decided to buy a few replacements, and these do actually come from the surplus Wrenn items that are being sold on the internet from Basildon. So they're genuine but a slightly different design, but they'll come in handy because I've got another one of these locos somewhere. Now, after experimenting with different glues and reading some great comments, I just decided I know how I can mend these. It's not pretty, but this is the underside, so you're not going to see this because when it's on the loco, all you see is this side. So how I did it was any of the bits that had cracked off, I just used a little bit of super glue to get them in the right position. And then I got some of these, and I've had a few of these in the past knocking around that came with different glues, and they're just like a granule. And I don't know whether I can just, yeah, well, I've made a bit of a mess there, but encourage a few out. And they move all over the place, but you can sort of move them around. And then the idea is to just put a little drop of super glue. Now, I am going to try and do this, but this glue is not as runny as I would want, and I don't know whether it's going to put a drop out. Ooh, I'm shaking a bit, aren't I, trying to squeeze this glue out. Let's have a go. Anyway, that glue permeates the granules, and then let's just move it about a bit with a knife. That's the super glue and the granules all mixed together. And that forms, when it sets, a super hard, drillable sort of repair. Now, you can use an accelerator to boost the setting speed, but once it has set, and I'll just move that aside, you can see that I've got a really nice reinforcement around those sort of little mountings, and that stuff won't come off. So I think that's a pretty good fix. Now, I was never happy how these side frames fitted on, so I've devised a way of fitting. You can see that's on really tight. If I try and pick the loco up, I'm picking it up by the side frame. So what I've done is I've got some heat shrink tubing, here's some, and I've cut off a couple of little bits which I put on to the metal sort of mounting points on the bogie. And let me just see whether I can, I've got to hold this because, let me just see. So I've got a bit of hot air on tap. Okay, I might try and do the other while I've got, oh, well, I didn't expect that to happen. Let's just see. I just, right, let's get that one. I put this on because the hot air with one hand, it just blows away. Okay, now if I can just, right, what I'm going to do now is give these a final blast to just fix them on. And the beauty of this is that is not a permanent modification to the bogie, so you can just cut or pull those off at any time. Now, I then got some drill bits. Now, in the workshop, I've got some of these, which if you ever get a chance to get them, are really good. They just go up in 0.1 of a millimetre sizes. So I just decided, once I'd done the gluing, I'd clean out the holes, and then I've enlarged them, and let's just have a look and see what size that is. I think it's 2.4 mil. So I've made these now 2.4 millimeters, which is larger than standard, but with the really nice little bit of heat shrink tubing on the mounting. And I just hope I can encourage this on with, and you can see that actually came off, but let's just push it on and let me see if I can turn it over. That one, yeah, it's just gone quite snug. And look, it's on strong, so I'm picking it up. Well, he says it's on strong, but it's come off, but you can see the heat shrinks in there now. Hold on, I was being a bit ambitious, wasn't I? But let's just pop it back on. And there we have it. And you can see I've already done the other side. But if I put it down now, they're not going to vibrate off. They're not glued. They're easily removable. There's no damage to the original mountings. And they're on, you know, very nicely. So I think that's a pretty good repair, and I'm very happy with it. Though that'll teach me to try and show off on camera, won't it? Let's take a look at the body shell. Now, excuse me, that's a bit of a cough crept up on me. Now, I've been looking at this, and it's such a great looking loco. The only thing that let it down were the handrails, and they've just got a slight amount of rust on them, so I thought I'm going to just clean them with a little bit of wire wool. So I've eased away the split pins, and I'm just going to slide all those off and give the actual handrail just to brighten up with a piece of wire wool, and it should look good because the handrails on the around the door look good, and there's one on the front of the loco, and that's not corroded. But if I just, let me see if I can just get this off. There, I'll pop that down over there, because this is such a nice body shell. And if you look at the other side, that's been affected as well, and I think it's probably just where people, you know, a bit like me, we've put our hands down and picked it up like that, and just got a little bit of moisture onto the handrail and made it, you know, it's just corroded. So I think that the body shell will be quite bright once that's been done. And if I just lower it into place and just tip it, you can see we've got the side frames fitted. So I think that's all I'm going to need to do with this lovely old loco. Okay, well, I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Now, there won't be any running today, but I'm going to go and get this box of a few items that I found, and we'll just quickly go through them together and get an idea of something we'll be running when the weather gets a bit better. Okay, well, welcome back to this segment, and if you've been waiting to see inside this box, the time has finally come. Though I do hope you enjoyed seeing what I was doing with that little wren. Now I'm just trying to open this because we're going to go through it. Well, look, this is like a time warp right back to the mid to late 1960s. So I think we'll just go through one by one. But firstly, this isn't Tri-ang, is it? This is Meccano. Now, if you don't know, I do have quite an interest in Meccano as well as model railways. My favourite period being the sort of last green and red, the light green and red. Now, this is an interesting motor, isn't it? Let's have a look. A lovely shiny key. Just lift it out. Now, what an unusual colour. It's got black stop and start and forward and reverse levers. There's a 1/2-inch pulley on there, a little bit of corrosion. Made in England by Meccano Limited. Now, there doesn't seem to be any obvious signs that the bolts have been put through the frame at all. And I'm sure it will run because it's made by Meccano and Hornby Dublo. So I'm just going to wind this off camera. I think you can hear me just giving that a turn. And that's good as the day it came out of the factory. So what have we got in the box? We've got that lovely shiny key, an inch pulley and some drive bands, a little ticket that says £1 7 and 6pence, and just some Meccano paperwork. So that's something interesting to go into my Meccano collection. So I'm going to put that all back in the box, and then we can get on with some of these other items. Okay, let's put that to the side. So immediately look at this box here. Anything that says Stephenson's rocket is interesting, isn't it? Remove sleeve to display contents. Well, let's see how we go. Oops, right, let's get this back so you can all see it. And there we have a lovely cardboard sleeve. Remove sleeve to display contents. Same on both sides, but look at this. This is really something interesting, isn't it? It's a later version of Tri-ang's Stephenson's rocket, not with smoke, and it's a presentation set. So there's instructions underneath there, but this is sealed. I'm not going to be opening this. It's a nice thing to have. And just look at that. Imagine what that would have looked like if you'd have seen that for the first time back in the day. Let's turn it over very carefully. I want to protect this cellophane. Just look at the shine on this. Rovex Industries Limited, Great Britain. That's just a beautiful thing to see. I don't think that'll be going back up in the loft. I might keep that in the house if I can persuade Mrs. Snooze to let me. Right, what else have we got? Let's get back to it. Now, look at these. I do like these coaches. We've seen these a long time ago running on the railway. Let's have a look. 727 composite coach, blue with seats. The Mark 1, I believe. And that's lovely, isn't it? I don't know whether that's been run. Let's just get a bit more room to see the items. So, oh, it's got a price ticket on it. Let's have a look. That says 16 shillings and 9pence. Let's have a look. Is this tape still intact? No, it has. Oh, I don't know. It might just come undone. It doesn't look like it's been opened. So we do have some other ones of these. So let's just see what else there is. There's a buffet car. Now I've got a sleeping car to go with this set somewhere up in the loft. 729 buffet car. And I do think we might be looking at, oh no, that's been opened. So that's 17 shillings and 11pence. Maybe all these things have been used just lightly. I think they have. And there's another composite coach. So I've definitely got a couple of brakes knocking around somewhere as well, and a sleeping car. So I'm going to look forward to putting these on the layout soon. I think I'm going to get my blue Class 31 on the job with those. So what have we got down here? Let's have a look. I can't quite get to this. Yes, I can. Ah, great, from the GWR composite coach. Is it Clear Story, Calestri? You tell me the right way to say it, but I've got a nice rake of these. So another one, that's a great thing. We'll be getting that onto the layout. It's so nice to have come across these items in the collection. Okay, well, we've got a couple what looks like more Meccano items. 6-speed movement to your models. This is a great motor. I did have one of these when I was younger. 12 volts, and you've got a gearbox in the end there. Those black sliders, you can select a gear ratio. They're a great motor. One of the better, more modern Meccano motors. I think if there's any interest, we might take a look at that another day. Now, down here, so E15R electric motor. Let's just look in here. This is a really rudimentary design. It stems back many years, this does. There was lots of different versions of these motors made by Meccano. 20 volt ones, all different types. And this one doesn't look like it's seen much use, does it? Let's see if we can see into the commutator. It's definitely been used, but there's not much wear on that. A very big switch, forward and reverse. Let's see if I can just demonstrate that. One way forward, off, one way reverse. A nice item. Now, I don't know whether there's anything in here price wise. Let's just see. No, just I think there's a guarantee slip in there. Yep, and there's a date, 7th of July 1970. So I think Meccano was really starting to struggle by that time. Okay, let's move that out of the way. See what else we've got. I can see something really interesting here. Nothing like a Matchbox car or something, is there? Let's check this. Well, this not a Matchbox. So made in Great Britain by Husky Models. Well, I must say I'm not familiar with Husky Models, but it's nice. It's got a metal base, a tow bar. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it does look like a Matchbox car. Cadillac Eldorado. It looks very similar to a dinky Cadillac Eldorado that I always wanted when I was a boy and never got. A lovely sort of, that bonnet does look like it should open, but there we go. God, look at that, a V8 engine of some amazing capacity in there. So yeah, I always wanted the dinky one. It was available in many different paint colours, but the one I liked was a really nice metallic purple with a black vinyl roof, but it looks a similar model. Bit big to go on the railway, but I think it could just go somewhere. Okay, we got these in a minute. What's in the newspaper? Okay, well, we've got a Pullman car here. A little bit of discoloration on the roof. Car number 79. I'm wondering if this is Hornby 00 or Wrenn. I think Hornby 00 is the answer. So, Meccano Limited, made in England, Hornby 00. And that's a really nice item. Now, I don't have many Hornby 00 versions of these. If I've got a couple, that's all I've got. So these are... Is this another one? Yeah, I think it is. It looks like it, doesn't it? I don't know whether I can slip it out. Yeah, these are very welcome. Car number 74. Yet again, Hornby 00. That's nice. That's got a bogie that's held on with what looks like a bolt. Both of them have. Much nicer to be able to take things apart, I think, rather than rivets, but beautiful. We'll have to get those onto the layout. So let me just move those aside. Okay, let's have a look at these excellent red boxes. So this one's got a sleeve. Britannia R259NS. NS. Now I'm not familiar with that. I wonder. So the S is going to be for smoke. So let's have a look. Just move the sleeve. Well, I think someone's been in there, because that seems to be called Oliver Cromwell. But the body has got the running number of Britannia and also nickel wheels. So I wonder if the N is for nickel and the S will be for Synchrosmoke. That's quite an interesting model. I've not, I don't know whether this came and it was available with alternative nameplates or someone's just modified it, but no price on there. But an R259NS. So, oh, exhaust noise and smoke. Well, it's we're going to have to try and open this. So I know it's a little bit difficult with one hand, so you'll have to just forgive me a second while I just hold on to the box, and let's just see if I can slide it out. So let's just put the box there and see what we've got. Now I can already see something quite interesting in here. Now this is a model I haven't got, and it looks like there's some alternative names there. So I'm going to have to try and get this out. How can I do it? This is the problem when you're holding a camera. Let me just see whether I can get my finger in here. I'm very sorry I wasn't more prepared, but this is indeed very interesting. Okay, let's go over here. So someone has indeed peeled off Britannia, and we've also got Robert Burns and Owen Glendower, and also some running numbers. So I'm just going to put those very carefully down into the bottom of the box. This is a really interesting locomotive. Let's see if there's a date on the paperwork. So this is an R259S, and that looks like the 10th of May 1971. So yeah, must be one of the last of the actual Britannias before Hornby went to tender drive. Now can I ease this out to see if it has indeed got, yeah, and there you see it, we've got the sound there. The small amount missing from the packaging there, it's gone a bit brittle, but check this out, that tender looks very nice. I mean, I hope you can see those wheels. I just don't think they've been on a track. Let's pop that back. So this has been renamed but not renumbered. Let's just ease it out carefully. You can see that there's a little bit of condensation on this because I have fetched it away from a colder area. But lovely to see it with the nickel wheels. And let's just carefully turn it over. Oops, I do want to be careful with this, because this is the only one of these that I have, and that's a lovely item. I think it's a bit of a shame that someone's changed those names over, but I hope they had fun doing it. I'm sure they did. Is there any cab detail in there? A little bit. So this is almost the full Monty. We've not only got a smoke generator in there, and I wonder if you can see it. You can just see it down the chimney. So we've got nickel wheels, smoke generator, and we've got exhaust sound in the tender. So this must be almost the culmination of this particular version of the Britannia. And I'm just going to rest it carefully into the box. Definitely going to have a video on this model fairly soon. What coaches would you like me to put behind this one when we get it up onto the Super 4 layout? Let me put that question to you. It'd be really interesting to see what you'd like behind that. Okay, well, I'm going to pack that away in a minute. What else have we got? Okay, well, we've got another Britannia here. Now this is a slightly older one. This is the 259S. Yeah, it has been opened. So that's got the older black wheels on it, and a great looking item. Okay, I'm not going to open that now. These are all locos that are going to be coming up on the channel, running on the main layout soon, provided the box isn't sealed. So I'm just checking. I think these have all been used or opened and looked at lightly. Here we have a 356S, the lovely Winston Churchill. I mean, these are just iconic Tri-ang locos. Look at that beautiful name, and it looks in quite, there's a little bit of discoloration on the loco there. These have been in storage for a long time, but they're going to be okay. Right, what's next? Ah, well, that looks like the Princess Royal. That's another little bit of crack there, but another beautiful loco, and the body shell on that looks in really nice condition. And that could be cellophane in there. There might be a driver and fireman in the cab there, just wrapped up. I am conscious this video is going on a bit long now, so we're going to just get through the last couple of items. But these things are all going to be on the channel soon. Oh, look, and to finish off, we've got Mary. Mary is one of the Tri-ang Pullman coaches. First class with seats are 228, and that's 17 shillings and threepence. And a great looking item. We have always seen Tri-ang Pullmans on the channel. I did put some Wrenn on as well. But anyway, what a great find. These items are going to give me the ability to hopefully make a load of fun content over the next few weeks. I'm definitely going to start with this extraordinary loco here, which I'm just going to bring back into the camera. We've all seen perhaps the later Hornby tender drive version of this, the Oliver Cromwell, and later Britannia, but this is just a really lovely looking item, isn't it? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed looking through this box as much as I have. There's some content coming up now. You can tell me which of the locos you'd like to see. I mean, I hope you choose this one first. What sort of coaches you'd like to see behind it. So I've had great fun getting these out to show you. I know it's just a quick tour through them, but rest assured I'm going to be featuring a lot more Tri-ang on the channel shortly. We've had a bit of Hornby Dublo, some Wrenn, but it'll be great to get back to some real Tri-ang items on the Super 4 mainlines. Thanks for watching. I'm going to let you carry on either watching more videos or doing something else nice. And until the next video, I'm going to say goodbye.